Hi, my name is Nara Mashtayel, and today we are commemorating Amelia Earhart. Amelia Earhart was the greatest female pilot that ever lived, hands down. She not only pioneered for aviation, but she also pioneered for women. And she gave future generations of women the real option of becoming full-fledged pilots. Miss Earhart broke many records in flight, but not just because she was a female. She was the first woman to solo the Atlantic Ocean in flight. Actually, Charles Lindbergh was the very first person to ever fly across the Atlantic Ocean in 1928. Later that same year, Amelia Earhart flew across the Atlantic Ocean as a passenger. Then in 1932, she actually made the flight across the Atlantic Ocean as the pilot in command, and broke not only the record as being the first woman to solo across the Atlantic Ocean, but also broke the record of being the first person to ever fly across 2 times. She lived during the turn of the 20th century, and so of course this was very controversial and unheard of at the time, but many women followed her in her footsteps during her lifetime. She didn't start off in aviation. She didn't get interested in aviation until the 1920s. However, she started her professional career as a nurse's aide in the military hospital, helping during World War I. She also later did some social work in between before she gained notoriety through aviation, but her true passion was flying. She actually test flew in a biplane, and she was quoted as saying that as soon as we left the ground, I knew I myself had to fly. So 6 months after her first test flight, she bought her first plane. She nicknamed it the Canary because it was a canary yellow, and she kept this plane, but actually ended up selling it to drive her mother across the country. She bought a car and drove her mother across the country, and that's when in Boston she did some of her social work where her sister lived. However, she did buy another plane after that, and through wanting to help women in progressing in aviation, she started the organization called the 99s, and this is an international organization for women in aviation. It's called the 99s because originally there were 99 charter members. Excuse me. Today, there are over 5,500 members in this organization that span over 35 countries. If you would like more information on that, you can check out the website. It's called 99s, 90 spelled out, -9s.org. She was actually, of course, the first president of the organization because she did help organize it and start it. Unfortunately, Amelia Earhart was lost in flight, and this is how she apparently died. That she had attempted in 1937 to be the first person to fly around the world, and she was very close to succeeding in that. She was actually coming back to the west coast of the United States, and over the Pacific Ocean somewhere, her last transmission was received on July 2nd of 1937. There are many speculations as to, what may have happened to her. One of which is that the Japanese may have captured her because this was during the time of World War II. The other speculation is a simple, maybe they had engine failure and were lost at sea. So we will never know exactly what happened with Amelia Earhart, but she is, of course, known for her courage. And I conclude with reading a poem written by Amelia Earhart named Courage. Courage is the price that life exacts for granting peace. The soul that knows it not, knows no release from little things, knows not the livid loneliness of fear, nor mountain heights where bitter joy can hear the sound of wings. How can life grant us boon of living compensate for dull, gray ugliness and pregnant hate? unless we dare the soul's dominion. Each time we make a choice, we pay, with courage to behold the resistless day and count it fair. Amelia Earhart is my hero. And again, I'm going to let this run a little bit so that it won't get cut off in the YouTube transmission.